The purpose of this forum this evening is to establish an inclusive community discussion, a non-partisan discussion on the issues that we face as a community going forward. We've had some apologies from Mr. Rob Stokes. We did change the date of this meeting so that he could, to make it easier for him to attend, but in the end he declined to come. So the first person I'm going to introduce is Zoe Daly.
Good evening, everyone. So obviously I'm partially speaking on behalf of my mother, Dr. Daly, who unfortunately can't be here this evening, but also because I'm equally as passionate about this entire area and seeing all this begin back in early 2012. That's when this first was brought to my attention and to my mother's attention. She was invited to represent the Board of GPs at a planning meeting, which was laid out to be for the redevelopment of Manly Hospital, where they were then told that evening that Manly was to be sold off, and so the land sold off and shut down, and also that Mona Vale Hospital would be shut down. So she then scheduled a meeting with the local member, Rob Stokes, and he at the time claimed to be ignorant to the matter of the hospital being shut down. He did actually say that it was a good idea to get a petition, and if she was to collect 10,000 signatures, that he would personally present it in Parliament and have the matter debated. And to collect 11,830 signatures, I believe. So, nearly 2,000 more than the required amount. Another 6 months later, so by this point it's May 2013, the matter was brought to the Parliament's attention. However, the local member spent the 7 minutes there speaking about his plans for the site with no mention of refurbishment of Mona Vale Hospital. So here we are 5 years later, and I think everybody's aware of what's happening. The fight is just beginning, I believe, and it's great to have everybody here this evening. So, thank you.
Our group, Sustainable Ingleside, was formed once we heard at one of the early planning meetings that sustainability wasn't part of the brief that the consultants were working on when they were planning their Ingleside development. So from that point, Ingleside, you know where it is, it's up around the High Temple, over to Wilbur Wilson on the south, up to near Bayview on the north, and almost as far as the turn off to Kimbrickie out to the west. It's 700 hectares. The planning at the moment, or the planning is in the hands of the New South Wales Department of Planning and the Northern Beaches Council. And they have been putting together the plans for it. There have been 2 public exhibitions. It hasn't really resulted in anything that we put forward being put into the forward planning in any significant manner. So what we're seeing is the planners going more or less business as usual. I think it would be better than business as usual, but essentially current best practice with no clear vision stated about the whole gamut of things that are going on up there, and there's a lot going on. But the thing that our group is really passionate about is making sure that this Ingleside development is way better than business as usual. We want to see it as a shining example of how a community can live sustainably and in harmony with the community, in harmony with nature, all the trees and rivers and things which right throughout the whole of the Ingleside area we want to see developed in a very sustainable manner. We're not getting very much positive feedback from the planners, and we suspect that it's not going to happen that way. And by the way, Ingleside is planned to be developed over a period of 15 or 20 years, so it's a long project. We want to see a carbon neutral community come out of this. We want to see a really livable, healthy and pedestrian happy community, so that all the roads, the cycleways and the public access is really first class. With water, we want to see as much water collected as rainwater and used on the site as possible, and that means big tanks. And we want to see as much recycling as you can put into a project the size of Ingleside, which is probably going to be quite a lot. Transport is one of the big issues at Ingleside, because we already know that Mona Vale Road and Powder Works Road at peak hour times choked with traffic. More building going on at Ingleside will just mean more cars on the road, even before the inhabitants move in. So Unfortunately, we don't see any coherent plan coming out of the current planning process of how the Ingleside is going to dovetail with reasonable planning for the transport. Thank you very much. That's pretty much the way it is. Keep your eyes focused on what's going on. Thank you.